What's up, everyone? Riley here, and welcome back to the latest segment of Overkill Reviews, BangerTV's weekly heavy metal review show. If you haven't already, make sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and check out the dang Patreon. I feel like the majority of the albums that I've gotten into this year, or the majority of the ones that I've reviewed this year, are either grumpy black metal, or they're sad black metal, or they're soft black metal, or they're just releases that have a lot of angst and sad feelings in them, which is great, and I love that, but sometimes I just want to knock it off with the melancholy and pull up my pants. So today, we're getting after it with just good old bloody, stabby, cutthroat, brutal death metal record. This is Fulci with their latest Duck Face Killings, out August 9th, 2024 via $20 spin. With 4 full lengths before this one of those being a re-recording of some older material that came out last year. Fulci is a brutal death metal band hailing from Italy. The band formed by the original 3 members in 2013 with the addition of a full-time drummer and a second guitarist in 2023. And I'm gonna be honest, off the top of my head, I don't think I can name another death metal band with a more consistent lineup at the minute, with all of the original members, as well as this addition of this dynamic duo kind of tooting along there with them, trekking along without a single domestic split up. It's impressive. Fulci eats, sleeps, breathes death metal through and through. That's who they are. Brutal riffs. They use horror film samplings. They've got chugs. They've got crushing drums. They've got the deep growls. It is all of the fixings that you could ever want. And I think they've been a little bit more adventurous and intriguing enough on this new one that they've added a little something else into the mix of all that blood splatter and gore, and it made stewing on a 14-track savage death metal album a bit more funky, and there's 3 tunes I want to talk about. The first one I just think is so fun. It's called Knife, and considering I just turned 12 years old again and I've been reliving my Linkin Park Hybrid Theory era, I almost fell over. It's got this nu metal rap approach that was just completely unexpected, except the way that they do it is they keep the rhythm and they keep that melody, except the vocals get super guttural, and it's just so sick, and it's fun.
Duck nameless, blood fetish like Joe Rifkin from Canarsie to Pitkin. Under poverty limits, I stick the knife inside of your fitted. Bio spin it, decapitate fixins, coagulate like splinters. Ron Gitchy coat, he did a shot for every victim.
Then they have a track called Blade in the Dark. It's full of like beat boops and ambience, and it has this overhanging vibe of 80s synthwave sort of elevator music. Super like dark lit city streets, possible bad crime fighting to be had. Just a bit of an odd turn when we're listening to something so harsh. And then 3 out of 3 is the closer on this album. It's called Il Mele del Diavolo, which means the devil's honey. And it starts off again with that sort of 80s ambient sound, and then the guitars get really heavy, and it's got this complementary sound to the grooviest, smoothest sort of borderline jazz pull all the way through. If you know Rivers of Nile, it's that vibe. It's just one of those, if you know, you know. And I think it's perfect. It's super imaginative, and all of these different blocks of tracks that stand alone, completely different on this album, make it so much more enhancing if you're one of those people who likes to sit down and listen to a record from front to back. It just amps it up. I was really happy with how the production level came out on this record. You know those brutal death metal bands where it all just kind of ends up sounding like mashed potatoes and you can't differentiate between the low ends and the high ends or anything that's kind of going on in between, and it all just kind of sounds soupy. Or there's other death metal bands and they want to make everything more clear, but then you end up with like a bass tone that sounds like it should be on a pop punk record. We have neither of those things. I think we got a really happy medium here. I'm just content with the levels all around. I'm super happy with the texture on the vocals. And I thought that it was really great with those 3 oddball tracks. The production levels never changed. They didn't falter in the slightest. And even though they're so different, how the production adapted around them made it all just sound extremely cohesive and make those different pieces feel like they still fit like home. When I take away those funny little breakup ditties and quirky bits and we just look at Fulci as a strict, brutal death metal band and they stick to the rules, it's structurally sound, it feels like a very cookie cutout way of how we understand what gruesome death metal really is. It's like we're reading a recipe book and we've got the gory, we've got the harsh, we've got the growls, and that's just how we put it there. And we love that. We love a good morbid riff, but seriously, when I look at it and I think, who is Fulci? I don't know if I really know. I don't know if I could pick them out of a crowd. If someone put on this track Stabbed, Gutted, and Loved and said, who's this band? I'd be like, I don't know, but that's really sick. And they'd say Fulci and I'd go, shit. And then I would probably forget again the next time I heard it when I thought, oh, this band sounds really cool. It's just one of those things where it's just very good death metal, but there's a lot of very good death metal on this planet. So where does that leave you to not be in the middle? Where is that thing that makes that death metal you? This album has a super strange, sort of overhanging, dimly lit 80s dark alley street vibe with a bit of Murder to Taste. It's so consistent all the way through. I think that was one of my favorite things about it. Even when they switch it up, it's still the same record. And from the perspective of just straight shooting death metal, if you just want an old reliable record, you got it. It's chuggy, it's hard, it's got great guttural vocals, it's got short tracks that keep it really honest and cut to the point. There's nothing crazy, and that might leave me with a little bit of album dementia, not being able to differentiate between anything because we're not getting wild, but I also just love something that I can just go to and I know exactly what I'm gonna get. So with that being said, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 skulls today on Overkill Reviews. Coffin Rot from Portland, Oregon. I saw that they put out a new single and I was like, oh yeah, new Coffin Rot. And then I couldn't figure out when the new record was coming out. So I messaged the band and I said, hey, when's the new record out? And they simply responded and said, not sure yet. Right on, man. Anyway, since then, I heard that it's coming out September 20th, 2024 via Maggot Stomp Records. And if you just love death metal in all sorts, make sure to keep your eyes open for this one. Rancid, cavernous death metal band Piss Rot from East Tennessee is dropping a compilation record called Grease from the East via Iron Fortress Records. It's got some older stuff, it's got some newer stuff, so make sure to give that a listen. And our last rot of the day is Sweden's Vomit Rot, Death Doom Supreme. This is their second full length out August 24th, 2024 via Personal Records. If you like it hard, you like it dark, and you like it doomy, and you like it slow, and you like it loud, this is the one for you. So make sure to check that out. I hope you're digging the new Fulci, and thanks for coming to hang out with me today, and I will see you next time.
I told you to be satisfied.